Hey everyone, how you doing? If you are new here, I'm Nicol Concilio and welcome to the video, y'all. I also feel like I have lipstick on my teeth. No? Am I good? Okay. Okay, you guys, so I'm a little bit nervous filming this video today because this is a very vulnerable side of me. It definitely isn't the easiest to talk about, and if you've struggled with an eating disorder, you know that as well. Like, it's honestly a constant battle even after recovery, you know, like even after getting treatment or doing the things that you need to do to be in recovery, it still is an ongoing battle. Today, I'm gonna talk to you guys about my eating disorder that I used to have when I was in my early 20s. I would say that maybe even a little bit of it lingered into my early college years. I don't really know a specific time frame just because this has been such a battle my entire life and still is something that I battle with. Not necessarily the anorexia itself, but just those thoughts. The thoughts of feeling like, you know, you're not enough, you're not this, you're not that, you're not whatever. And one thing I want to back up and point out is, like, a lot of people think that anorexia is like, oh, you think you're fat and you're just not gonna eat. Like, sure, that is some of it, but that's more like body dysmorphia. Whereas anorexia for me personally, at the time where I was definitely at my worst, it was a sense of control for me. I felt like everything around me was spiraling out of control, and food/eating was the only thing I had control of. And I hope that that makes sense because I don't really know how to explain it better than that. And before I get into my story, I feel like I want to just let you guys know my reasoning in doing this video is to let those who are currently struggling know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because for a very long time I felt like there wasn't. And I also feel like there's not enough people in the public eye who talk about body issues, societal pressures, eating disorders. Like, I have gone through it, and I feel comfortable enough to this day that I can share my story with you and help you guys. Like, honestly, that's all I've ever wanted to come out of my YouTube career. All I've ever wanted in general in life is just, I feel my best when I'm helping people, whether that be with talking about anxiety, depression, eating disorders, whether that be showing y'all how to do contour. Like, I just feel my best, and I feel a true purpose in life when I talk about these issues that other people are going through and don't know who to turn to or don't feel like they can talk with their family. This is a very big deal for me to be doing right now, because it wasn't until the last year and a half that I actually admitted that I had an eating disorder. You know, I've never really said those words out loud. I mean, even some of you guys have been like, oh, Nicol, like, I didn't know you had an eating disorder. It's because I feel like society looks at eating disorders in a certain way, and I want to break that stigma. I don't want people to feel embarrassed for having one or having had to have gone through one, you know? Like, F that. So for me, my eating disorder was really at the peak, I would say, when I was like 20, 21. That was when it was the worst. And I'm 27 currently. So we're talking about 5, 6 years ago-ish, give or take. At that time in my life, I was going through a lot of issues. You guys know, if you followed me for a very long time, I have a lot of medical issues. I have scoliosis, I have heart disease, I have asthma, I'm anemic. I mean, the list goes on and on. I have my throat cyst that I'm dealing with. And at this time in my life, I actually had to leave college, and I was dealing with my heart disease. I couldn't understand what was going on. Doctors had no idea what was wrong with me. They were like, oh, is she faking it? Like, we don't know. My heart was racing and palpitating 24/7. I also was dating probably the worst human being in the world. Yeah, I feel comfortable giving him that title, aka kind of Satan-ish. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that title. I was dating the worst person in the world who made me feel worthless. I was already feeling worthless on top of having to leave college. I did wind up finishing college, but having to leave college and not knowing what was going on with my health, my anxiety was at a peak high. I just felt like everything around me was spiraling out of control. And the only control I had was my eating. If I wanted to eat, I could say, no, I'm not eating tonight, you know? That was one of the main reasons that I guess, I'm like shaking. I'm so nervous talking about this. It's very hard to relive too. Like, I don't want to cry. So that was also another reason why I have my makeup on right now, because I haven't gotten makeup photos yet. So I'm like, don't cry. Don't cry. I'm like looking at myself in my little mirror right here. And this also isn't to blame my eating disorder on anyone else. It's just, I was a product of my environment, and I ultimately did it to myself. But again, it was really one of the only things I felt like I could control. I mean, I would pass out like crazy. I would look in the mirror and I would be like, you're fat. I would talk so mean to myself. So it was a little bit of the, you know, society pressures of like feeling like I'm not skinny enough, I'm not this enough, I need to lose weight, like blah, 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 I need to not eat. But it was more for me that I felt like I had no control, and food was the only thing I could control, what was coming in and out of my mouth. It got to a point where I was so bad, all I would eat in a day, and pretty much it was to prevent me from passing out, was I would eat 2 whole wheat English muffins with a little bit of butter on it. And then for dinner, I would have an Oreo with milk. And I would just have like maybe 2 or 3 Oreos, and I would dunk it in the milk. And then after that, I would feel like, okay, I need to go run now. And I would run for hours around my neighborhood all the time. Running like sprinting, running. And I would just do crazy things. I would wear sweatpants on top of sweatshirts and go running, and was like, oh my God, I just ate that. I need to run that off. Like, why did I eat that? I would be mad at myself. I'll never forget, there was one time my dad and I went to a Yankee game. I had treated him to a Yankee game, and that entire day I felt like, oh my God, I don't want to eat. I'm so nervous about eating right now. Like, I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat. I don't want to eat. My dad's going to make me eat. I don't want to eat. I don't want to do it. Like, I just kept replaying that in my mind. And I'll never forget, like, I had a hot dog and a beer, like a Bud Light. After that, my dad had sat down at his seat, and I was running up and down Yankee Stadium stairs like crazy. And I kept trying to get my dad to walk around rather than enjoy the game, because I just felt like this was my only way I could control myself, was like through my exercise and through my eating. And like, okay, if I do this, this is my control that I have over my body and my life, and this will make me feel better, and you know, all those things. And then that developed a really unhealthy relationship with working out and with the gym, and just like in general, I had to this day still have a very hard time going to a gym and working out and using weights. And I knew that there was something wrong with me, but I just didn't want to admit it. And whenever anybody told me that I was skinny or that I should eat more, it made it worse, because I was like, okay, I'm getting thin. I'm gonna be really thin now, and this is my control. I control my body. No one else can tell me what to do. And that might sound sick, but this is seriously how I was thinking at the time. I'll never forget, there was also another time I had been in Boston, and I was on a vacation or a trip with my ex's family, and they had gone to eat at the Cheesecake Factory, and I was flipping out in my mind. I did not want to eat. I was like, no, I don't want to effing eat. Like, I don't want to eat. You guys have no idea what it's like not having control over your life. I don't want to eat. I'm finally thin. People are saying it like it made it worse. Like, it made it worse. When people would tell me, come on, you gotta eat, it made it worse. I just wanted to be like, F you, I'm not gonna eat for a week now. How about you like that? You know, like it just was so bad. I was so bad at this point. I remember stepping on the scale, and the lowest I ever got was 79 pounds. And I remember being like, that's not enough. That's not enough. Mind you, you guys, I'm only 5 feet tall. And the last time I weighed myself, I don't look at scales anymore because of this. It's very traumatizing to me. Whenever I go and get a physical, I ask the doctors not to read the number out loud, because there are still some little things that are triggering to me. I remember looking down at that number and being like, oh shit. And I had stopped getting my period. I wasn't on birth control at this point in my life. I had stopped getting my period. I really, for the longest time, I thought I was pregnant, and I took like 5 to 10 pregnancy tests, And that wasn't it, obviously. And when you become underweight enough, your body won't allow you to reproduce. Like, you're that unhealthy that your body is like, no, honey, you're not gonna get your period because you're not taking care of yourself. Like, my stomach was eating away at itself. Like, I remember feeling that feeling of like pure hunger and pain in my stomach, and it kind of felt like this. And I just remember being like, yes. Like, it's sick. Like, it's an illness. Like, oh my God, I'm so nervous talking about this. And I'm so sorry if this video is triggering to anyone. And I'm sorry if I'm not saying the right things or if I'm portraying things wrongly. This is just my experience with it. And I keep holding my hands up here because I'm so uncomfortable. Once I did hit around 78, 79 pounds, and we had figured out what was going wrong with my heart and everything. And I was like, okay, I guess I can treat myself to eating a little bit. So like, I would make myself mac and cheese every now and then, but that was like a splurge. And I also was like, it was my control because I was making the food and I knew what I was putting into what. Guys, I mean, I was so far gone at one point at a physical. I remember, like, because at this point, they weren't like really at my physical. I wasn't really naked. It was more just like a checkup type of thing. It wasn't like I had the gown on and was gonna get a full female physical. But I remember like specifically sticking these like water bottles. They were probably like this size. My mom and my family always was a big fan of water bottles. And my mom doesn't even know this to this day. I stuck 2 huge water bottles in my pocket in my sweatshirt to weigh me down a little bit more because I knew that my doctor was going to say to me, hey, what's going on? You're losing weight rapidly. I'm gonna sit back, you guys, because my back is killing me from like hunching over and being so nervous. I'm so sorry. Like, I hope that this video, I feel bad for my editor too, because he's the one that's gotta edit it. And actually my editor was in my life at this time. I mean, he still is in my life, but I've known my editor Tom for a really long time. And I was actually talking to him the other day saying that I wanted to do a video about my anorexia, and he was like, I remember when you were so bad. And he told me that like my parents used to talk at the dinner table, like, what are we gonna do with Nicol? Like, how do we get Nicol out of this? Like, she doesn't effing eat. Like, what do we do? I think my biggest turning point for me, and I also think because of having anorexia, I'm still dealing with the side effects of it. I was tired all the time. I would sleep for hours. There was one day where I think I went to bed at like 6 p.m. and then I didn't wake up the next morning until almost 11 in the afternoon almost. Like, I would sleep like crazy. My hair was breaking. It was so brittle and thin. My nails weren't growing at all. I also would feel a lot of like numbness in my hands. I don't know if that really has anything to do with anorexia. I don't feel that anymore, but I'm just thinking I probably had really bad blood circulation all over the place. My teeth got like very, very yellow as well. That's one of the main reasons why I got veneers. A lot of people used to give me about my teeth and how like my top teeth didn't match my bottom teeth, how my bottom teeth were yellow, this, that, and that. I never really did anything to make myself throw up, but there was a few times where I did take laxatives, and that was just like either like I felt like I had to eat or like I was being forced to eat, you know? I had every excuse in the book to avoid meals. I was like, oh no, I gotta go. Like, I had every excuse. And I also was very obsessed with other people's weight. I don't know if other people that have gone through anorexia have felt like this, but I would just see someone and I would be like, ew, they need to lose weight. Like, I was really bad. Like, I don't even know who that person is anymore, you know? Like, yuck. I was really far gone. I was obsessed with my weight. I was obsessed with other people's weights. We would come home from a family vacation where I would like maybe allow myself to snack, and the first thing I would do when I walked through the door was weigh myself. And you guys know what goes hand in hand with anorexia and heart disease is mitral valve prolapse, which is what I have. And who knows, maybe my anorexia could have triggered that. But I've always really had some issues with my heart. It runs in my family. And the problem is there's really no way to prevent this. You can't force someone to go to treatment. You can't force someone to talk to someone. My parents didn't really force me to do anything, and I think that helped me a lot in my recovery because I didn't have people down my throat like that. And also my mom has had her share of eating disorders, so I feel like she knew what to say and what not to say, whereas like my dad was like, Nick, come on, you gotta eat, you know what I mean? I would say I really got better where I wasn't like anywhere near anorexic when I was 24, I want to say. What got better for me was a lot of mental health work, talking to psychologists, doing therapy. Sometimes I wasn't comfortable to do therapy in person, so I would do it online or over the phone. I was lucky enough to catch myself when I saw that number, like 78, and then I saw like on the scale, and I saw my hair breaking off, I saw my nails breaking off, I wasn't getting my period. I was like, you're gonna kill yourself, Nicole, if you don't get better and fix the way that you are, you know? And I am very grateful and blessed that I had that realization. And also I think talking with my mom helped me a lot. My parents got rid of the scale for me, so I didn't have to worry about that anymore. And I also think having that big breakup with my ex at the time, you guys don't know him, that helped a lot too. I felt like there was a weight that was lifted off my shoulders and just wanting to not feel that way anymore, you know, like just wanting to be better and wanting to have a healthy relationship with food, wanting to live, you know, like I still can't believe I got down to like 79 pounds. I really can't believe it. It doesn't feel real even saying it. But I remember seeing those numbers on that silver scale. The biggest problem with treatment in anorexia is like there's no pill. There's no way to really stop it. You have to want to get better yourself, and the more people around you bother you about getting better, the more you're gonna say, back the F up. Back up. What helped me a lot was having really small increment meals, like having my little piece of toast in the morning and then having a little snack and then dinner and then lunch and then snack, and like having little meals made me feel better, and that's kind of what gradually helped me get better. And also in my last relationship, there was a lot of times where I felt like I was gonna relapse because I had a person that was keeping track of what I ate and how many times I went to the gym and saying that all I've eaten all day was carbs and starch, and maybe I should have some vegetables, and maybe I should go to the gym more. If you ever have anybody in your life like that, cut them the F out, and I wish I cut that person out way faster than I did. And I was scared, and it was because there was business wrapped up in a relationship like that, and you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. I don't even need to say their name. But a lot of issues were brought up in this past relationship I had, and having someone keep track of those things was very triggering to me. And I went on a binge when we broke up. I felt like I would just eat all the foods I wanted because I didn't have anybody breathing and looking down my neck. It was very triggering for me, very triggering. And I have to say, Riley is an effing saint, and he has helped me so much with like my body dysmorphia. That's another thing I have, is like I look in the mirror and like you guys may think like, oh my God, Nicole, your body's amazing, I want it. I look at it and I see ugliness. I see hideousness. And I want to also say that that is a product of being in social media and seeing a lot of these fake bodies and Photoshopness. And, you know, that's why I've always really wanted to be an advocate for you guys of like real natural bodies. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong if you want to go get a little liposuction, you want to go get a little BBL. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But I also think society has no idea what a normal body looks like anymore. And I want to be that person for you guys more than anything in the world. I want you to be able to look at my body and be like, shit, bitch, that's a natural queen right there. You know what I mean? Like, I want you guys to, not that I'm calling myself a queen, I'm far from it. But, you know, that is just one thing I feel like social media is killing people, is like bodies. I mean, if people were more upfront with like the surgeries they had and this, that, and that, I feel like it would be way better. But like, genuinely, I feel like people forgot what real normal bodies look like. Not saying that in the future, because you never know, you never say never. Like, I got my breast reduction, you know, in the future, maybe I will want to try a little lipo. Maybe I will want to try this, that, and that. But like right here, right now, 2020 Nicole wants to just bring back body positivity to you guys. And I want you guys to know that things will get better. Like, I promise there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you guys. I still have a very unhealthy relationship with working out. I still get triggered every now and then. I still still have those issues, you guys. I still have those problems. Like, they are still here, but I am learning to love myself and honestly accepting myself for who I am and loving my body and loving the skin that I'm in, because I can look at myself today and be like, bitch, I am so proud of you. I am proud of you. I'm looking at myself in the monitor. I am proud of you for overcoming the shit that you have overcome at such a young ass age. I am proud of you. And I think that is something that we need to say more to ourselves. We need to say, I'm proud of myself. No one is like me. I am my only individual. I am my only self. There is no replica like me out there. And like you out there too. If you're going through eating disorders right now, whether you're in recovery or still going through it, don't know if you want help, don't know what to do, my best advice to you is to talk to someone. Because talking to someone who has no idea who you are, who's not a family member, who is non-judgmental, is the best thing that I did for myself. You will get to a point how I am now. And that's not to say I don't have slip-ups, okay? Like, just the other day, I was like, oh my God, I ate like crap this weekend. Now I need to cleanse. And it's like, allow yourself to have those days of eating like crap. I also feel like in the influencer world, in the content creator world, it can be a little bit toxic, because I feel like it's like working out, showing what you eat, working out, this photo, that photo. I want to be the person that's real and sits there with you guys and is like, guys, I have a really hard time working out. I have a really hard time eating healthy. I have a really hard time doing that. I do, because when I was eating healthy and doing those things, that part of my brain gets triggered and then I start feeling old feelings, and it's hard, you guys. It's rough. I don't know if I'll ever have a good relationship with working out. I don't know if I ever will. But you know what? You find what's good for you, and that's all that effing matters, okay? That's all that matters. And if there's anything you guys can take away from this video, is I promise things get better. I promise you will learn to love yourself. And I promise you are not the only person going through this. And I promise that talking to a therapist was one of the best things that I could have done for my life. I just want to be, more than anything, there for those of you who are going through it, because I know how difficult it is. I know how difficult it is. It's really tough, you guys, but you will get through it. I promise. And I also find that following people who talk about body positivity and talking about loving the skin you're in is amazing to follow as well. I will list in the description bar down below some people that I like to follow for body positivity, no matter your size, your height, your weight, no matter what. I just want you guys to know that you are beautiful, and there is a way out of this horrible illness. There's a way out of it. I do have those days. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I feel like it's something that I probably will battle for the rest of my life. And that's okay, because I've learned to get it under control, and I've learned to love the skin I'm in. It's crazy saying that. It's crazy. I'm so happy. So happy that I've been able to be the woman I am today. And I promise you guys, I promise you will get better. And anorexia is more common in women, but I promise there are just as many men out there that go through it as well. I want to also attach in the description bar down below some hotlines that I've personally called and used to help me with. And I'm here for you guys. If you ever want me to talk about some tips and tricks on how I like to do my body positivity things, let me know. I could do a follow-up video, but it was really important for me to get my story out there for you guys and maybe get some of the misconceptions out there, because a lot of people think, oh, anorexia, you just want to be skinny. It's not just that. It's the fact that you don't have control over anything else in your life, or at least that's what it was like for me. Nothing was in my control. I'm sorry if I'm a broken record, you guys. There's no rule book to this, you know? I want to be sensitive in what I'm saying, and I'm nervous in talking about this because this is a very vulnerable side of me. A lot of people don't even know. Yeah. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. And if I can answer any questions in the comments below, I will try my best to. Feel free to reach out to me. I love you guys, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.